Hello YouTube, Byron at Splitting Slices. Welcome back to the channel. It is Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. Guys, you got 2 more days to Valentine's Day. Fair warning. Hey, what I've got here though is a combined 2 for Tuesday video, and we'll talk why it's a little late. And we're going to do a midweek mail call. So I got this package in from Midway USA. They are an online retailer located, I believe, it's either Kansas or Missouri, that focuses on outdoor gear sales. I'm not going to say they're in the tier of Cabela's or Sportsman Warehouse, but they are a large company. And I got a couple items in here that came in, so let's take a look at them. I went ahead and used my off-grid knives all-day necker to cut open the package, and we're going to take a look and see what's in here. What I have for you today is a version of what I consider to be the greatest all-time heavy-duty work folding knife. I have here 2 of the American Tanto version Cold Steel Recon 1s. I also have my current work knife, which is also a Cold Steel Recon 1. This one, though, is in a spear point blade configuration. And the 2 that I have here are in the American Tanto configuration. So let's go ahead and I'm going to set the second one aside. We'll talk about why there's a second one there later. But let's go ahead and open this up, shall we? Okay, we have a pocket clip that is steel stamped and coated with like a black DLC or PVD coating. And let's go ahead and open the knife. Here is the knife. Now, this is, again, the Cold Steel Recon 1. It comes in S35VN powder metallurgy stainless steel. If we open this up, you can see that this knife is pretty large. This knife is about 9 inches overall. It has a 4-inch blade from tip back to the edge of the handle. It has a 5-inch handle of G10 material. It has a metal pocket clip. If we turn it over, you can see it is on the right side of the knife. It is not an ambidextrous clip, but the clip can be located to the opposite side of the knife into this spot right here. And this is where you use the alternate clip that they provided. That is because the clip is at an angle to the center line of the knife, and therefore you need a left hand or right hand clip. Notice that there are finger grooves set up for your fingers. I have large hands, and my fingers fit in the grooves perfectly. A little bit of jimping up here on the top of the knife, not on the blade, but on the top of the knife so you can get a good grip. It also has a choke-up point due to this flat area right at the ricasso, or just after the ricasso of the blade. So you can actually choke up on the knife if you need to do some detail work. But the normal saber grip would be back here in the finger grooves. Notice my hand goes all the way to the back. The handle is 5 inches long, but your inner grip distance is right about at 4 inches. All right. It is a thumb stud actuated blade, and it is also what we call a midlock or a back lock, but this is actually a midlock in that the lock bar is actuated and located at the center of the handle. When you want to close the knife, you have to push with your thumb on the back of the knife. That will allow the blade to fall into your finger groove. And notice I keep my finger up in the groove. The blade will not touch my finger. Now, if I move that finger, start to slide it back, that blade can come back and it will bite you. It is a common occurrence on the Recon 1s for people that are used to fidgeting with their knives. They'll move this finger before they should, and that blade will catch them. So to operate this knife safely, you push on the mid lock, leave your finger up in the groove, it will stop the blade, and then you can finish closing the knife. Now, most of these knives do not have drop shut action. It is because this, one, is a big knife, and two, it has phosphor bronze washers that actuate the knife. This usually means that you need to break in the knife and operate it quite a few times before those washers will get slick enough to where the blade can have semi-fall shut action. Right now, you basically will have to probably use a second hand to close the knife. Now, it does have a pretty good detent, or a pretty good spring action to return that blade into the handle. So that is something else you have to watch out when you go to close this knife. That's the other reason you don't want to bring this finger back too far, because this blade can go all the way back and it will try to close on your fingers. All right. But this is the Cold Steel Recon 1. 4-inch blade, 5-inch handle, 4-inch inner grip, basically a left or right-handed side pocket clip, depending on which one you choose to use. T6 hardware on the body screws and the clip screws, a T8 for the pivot. Thumb stud actuated. There is no flipper and no other means of rolling the knife blade out into its lock position, and it is the mid lock back. This is called the Tri-way lock that was invented and installed on many of the Cold Steel folders by Andrew Demko, and is considered one of the strongest locks in the industry. And that is also one reason why this, to me, is the greatest all-time heavy-duty work construction folder. That Tri-way lock is a very strong lock. Harder to beat. In fact, the only other lock that's even come close to beating it as far as strength in a folder is the also Demko-designed Atlas lock. But this Tri-way lock is tried and true. It has been around now for almost 20 years and works like a charm. So this is the Cold Steel Recon 1. Now, why is this another reason that I can give you that I think this is the greatest folder of all time for heavy-duty work is because even though they have this model, it comes in 3 different configurations and a variety of handle colors at this point. So you could probably find a configuration that you will like for the type of work that you do that will be best suited for you, your hands, and what you like as far as colorways and blade shapes. This is the American Tanto, which I think is probably the best as far as construction work or heavy-duty work where you need to penetrate into products such as concrete bags or pallets of product that you need to split open, break open. And with that strong tip, it's also sharpened if you have to do a little bit of scraping or a little bit of pry work. Not that you're supposed to pry with a knife, but if you're going to, this is the one to do it with. So this is the American Tanto version. I've always wanted to get this version, and I finally went ahead and picked it up. Now, my current work knife that I've had for almost 10 years is the Cold Steel Recon 1, but it's the Spear Point edition. It is a drop point, but it's almost equal on both sides, and so they call it a spear point when you go to purchase this knife, but it really is more of a drop point. It has a 4-inch blade of S35VN stainless steel, powder metallurgy made by Crucible. Heat treat is great on this steel, sharpens up well, holds an edge pretty well, and S35VN is just a good overall all-purpose steel and has the balance of toughness, edge retention, wear resistance, and durability. So this is a really good steel for a work knife, and I've been very happy with it. I've had this knife almost now for about 10 years, and it's just fantastic. I actually purchased this knife, I believe it was right around $55, $60 when I got this. Now, the current models can range anywhere from $105 up to about $135, depending on the configuration and the color scheme. Currently, Midway USA has a sale on some of the Recon ones and also some of the Code 4 knives. The Code 4 is the sister knife to the Recon 1 in that the Code 4 is produced with a 3.5-inch blade and a slightly smaller handle. Basically a proportionate mock-up of the Recon 1, just shrunk down a little. So depending on your hand size, that is also the reason why I say that the Recon 1 and its sister equivalent, the Code 4, are the best heavy-duty work knives. The Code 4s are set up the exact same way, a little bit smaller handle, but basically the same handle shape. 3.5-inch blade, comes in the same 3 configurations. You can get an American tanto, you can get a drop point, or you can get a bowie style clip point with the upward trailing edge. And that is what these configurations come in. So the one that I don't have shown, that I don't own, is the bowie-shaped clip point blade. Has a slightly upswept tip and is just a good all-around cutter and a good hunting knife because with that upswept tip, it can be easily used for skinning as well as hunting and penetration. Probably more of the fighting knife or tactical knife if you were going to use it for that reason. But these are the 3 configurations that the Recon 1 comes in. I know you can also get it in basically a desert beige G10 color and also an olive drab or olive army green G10 colorway as well. So this is the Recon 1. So for size, overall balance of strength, edge retention, sharpenability, and durability, the fact that it is stainless steel throughout the blade and the mechanism, the fact that it has the strongest locking system in a folder to date in the industry, and the fact that it's value priced for a gentleman or a lady that basically has a blue-collar job, probably not being paid a ton of money for what they do. This is an affordable value alternative to get a heavy-duty locking folding knife that is going to last you for years. So that is my presentation of the greatest all-time heavy-duty locking folder knife. It is the Cold Steel Recon 1 for people that have large and extra large hands. For those that have small to medium-sized hands, I suggest you size down and go with the Code 4 models with a 3.5-inch blade and a slightly smaller handle. So that's it. This is Byron with Splitting Slices. I hope this was useful for you. If you enjoy my content and are not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It will let you know of any future postings I make to the channel. And your subscription is free, but it helps my channel grow. So until the next video, this is Byron from Splitting Slices saying split a slice with a friend soon, and everybody take care.